Hey Rick, Connor here with Handy Toyota. So I know you were speaking with Kyle earlier today and you wanted to check out a few RAV Limiteds. You wanted that tech package on it. Unfortunately, this one isn't going to have that tech package, but it's going to have everything else. It's just not going to have that one package, unfortunately. But with the RAV Limited, this is the 2015. It's going to be an all-wheel drive limited model. You're going to get a 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine and also a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now that 6-speed automatic transmission is the same one they put in those Lexus RX 350s, those really wicked expensive, luxury vehicles you see driving around all over the place. So on the front of the vehicle also, we're going to have projector beam headlights. They're going to be wicked bright for at night driving. Not only are they going to be better for the driver, but they're also a little bit more reflective for oncoming traffic, so they're going to be able to see them a lot better. We're also going to have the fog lights built in as a standard feature, and then we have the carbon fiber covered up bumper. So it's going to be a little bit lighter, but just as strong as your average bumper, and it's going to wrap way around the entire vehicle. So it's going to keep all that rust to an extreme minimal and off that paint for you. And for the wheels, we're going to have 18-inch machine alloy wheels. Now, essentially, alloy wheels are going to be a lot thicker, but stronger than your average steel wheels, but they're also going to be lighter at the same time. So it's going to help out with that gas mileage and make driving that much easier. And speaking of gas mileage, with these 2.5 liter four-cylinder engines, you're going to see an average about 25 miles per gallon, even though it's an all-wheel drive SUV. So also standard, we're going to have the mud guards. Those usually come standard on just about every single four-wheel drive vehicle we make. So we're not trying to cut any corners there. And then the mirrors themselves are going to be heated outside mirrors. So whenever you use that rear defogger, it's going to heat up these outside mirrors for you as well. And then we got the turn signal indicator on there too. So whenever you use that indicator, it's going to start flashing on the mirror. So for the rear of the vehicle, we actually have a little tiny camera right here underneath the tailgate. So whenever you throw it in reverse, it's actually going to give us a projected path of what's behind us, basically a little video camera. So it's going to make backing up or getting into parallel spots that much easier. And the cool thing about the tailgate itself is it's going to be automatic. So all you got to do is press one button and it's going to open up for us. And it's also got a height adjustable feature to it. So it's going to go all the way up as you see here. But then if I want to bring it down, just press the button again, then I can stop it and say you wanted it about this height. All I got to do is press and hold. And it's going to beep 4 times. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut it and then open it again, and it's not going to go any higher than what I just set it before. So I'll press the button again, it's going to open up automatically, and it's going to go up to just about eye level where I set it. Pretty fancy, huh? So another cool feature about this remote here, it's actually going to have a sensor in it. So I'm just going to lock the vehicle here, make sure it beeps, and now if it senses that it's within 10 or I think 15 feet, it's going to know that you have the key and that you're the rightful owner of this vehicle. So all I'm going to do is stick my hand behind it, and it's going to open up for you. That's a pretty cool feature. So standard on the 2015 Limited RAV4, we're going to have all power door locks and power seats. Driver side is going to have the one-touch features you can see here. And we're also going to have the memory settings, 2 separate memory settings, so you can actually set the seat to where you want it. And then if anybody else were to get in, or if you yourself were just adjusting a little bit and wanted to get back to that perfect setting you had, all you got to do is press that button and it's going to memorize where the seat was and put it right there. Now, speaking of the seats, they're going to be all leather seats. This is going to have the black leather interior, and they're going to be an 8-way power adjustable. So we can slide forward at the touch of a button. We can recline the seat forward and back at the touch of a button. Then we also have the lumbar support, which is kind of hard to see, but it's actually going to give support to your lower back. So if you need a little bit extra and you want to keep that natural S shape with your spine, it's going to contour to that as well. Now for the head unit, we're going to have what's called Entune Premium in this model. It's going to have the better sound system, and also we're going to have a couple different features here on the touch screen. So right now we're in the audio setting. We have our AM and FM audio just like you would with any other vehicle, but we also have XM radio. Now with the purchase of this vehicle, you're going to get the 90-day free subscription. Then you can add on to it as much as you want. They'll send you a notification in the mail when you're almost up. And we also have Bluetooth audio. Now essentially this vehicle is going to be Bluetooth capable. So if you have a smartphone or MP3 player device that is also Bluetooth capable, you can sync it right up to the vehicle and download music onto there. You can make phone calls, do anything basically from your phone through the speakers of this RAV4. Now I'm going to go to the app section, and in the app section we already have a couple here lined up. We have the predicted traffic and weather updates. We can also check our phone settings, the drivability of the vehicle, fuel consumption, how many miles we have left. Basically every single mechanical thing when it comes to driving this vehicle you can check right here on the screen itself. We also have our maintenance. You can actually set each one of these, or you can have a service writer set it, either or. You can set your when to change the oil filter, rotations, all that kind of, you know, basic wear and tear stuff. You can set it right here on the RAV4 itself. Now, if I hit the home button, that's going to bring us to our, you know, the home setting. So we're going to be able to check out our audio. We're going to be able to see our phone connection, and then we're going to have our navigation, which is also standard. And you can set points of destination. You can save them, all that good stuff. There's tons of options you can use here on the map. If you go to the map information, you can actually select points of interest, restaurants within the area, all those things. So we're going to have a dual zone climate center, which basically means each side is going to be able to set their own degree. So I have it at about 77 and 76 on each side, but you can split them up and set them whichever way you'd like. There's also an auto feature, so if I set that, it's actually going to start kicking the fan on a little more and adjusting that temperature to reach the temperature you had set for it. And all you got to do is hit off to cancel that. It's also going to be a push start engine. It's basically the same as starting it with a key. Just put your foot on the brake and press the button, and it's going to turn on for you. And if you want to just use accessory mode, just press the button when your foot isn't on the brake, and it's going to light up, and you can use accessory mode that way. So right below that, we're going to have our heated front driver's seat and passenger seat. We have a low setting and also a high setting. And to the left of that, we have the two buttons. One says Eco Mode and one says Sport. It's kind of self-explanatory. The Eco Mode is where you're going to see all your fuel savings. It's going to cut the engine RPMs down to a minimum, so it's not going to be revving too high. And then Sport Mode is going to essentially do the exact opposite. It's going to heighten your throttle response, and it's also going to make the steering wheel just a little bit tighter to give it that sporty feel. Now off to the side, we have a USB and auxiliary port plug-in. So not only is it Bluetooth capable, but if you have a USB cord or an auxiliary, you can plug them in right here. And to complement that, we have our 12-volt plug-in. So if you have a car charger or anything else that's car accessible, you can plug it in right here. We have a couple different storage units, including a cup holder. And as I had mentioned, it's going to be that 6-speed Lexus transmission. That's also going to have the shift mode. So if you're ever driving and you need to get around somebody or use a lower gear without just pushing your foot down, you can actually knock it over into sport mode. And you can begin to pick through your gears that way just by shifting the stick up and down. So for both the driver and the passenger, we're going to have the fold-down sun visors with the vanity mirror. And the light's actually going to be up top instead of facing you right in the eye and kind of blinding you. I've seen that happen in a lot of vehicles. People complain that it's hard to see through that blinding light. So this one they put right up here. It's actually going to illuminate a lot better when you're using that mirror. And when you fold it up, the light goes off. And up here, we're going to have our moonroof settings. So this is actually going to come standard with the moonroof, and it's actually going to pop up the back with a touch of a button if you need just a little bit of air filtration. And it's actually going to open up the entire way too with just the push of a button. And it's also going to have the shade to block it as well if it gets a little too bright on a hot summer day. So on the left side of the steering wheel, we got these two buttons right here. It's kind of hard to see from the other angle. The one on the left looks like a little car frame with the X in the middle. That's going to be your locking differential. So it's not only is it an all-wheel drive vehicle, but then you can also lock power to the front and the back, just like you would in a four-wheel drive truck. It's going to lock 50% power to the front and 50% to the back. And the button next to it is going to be our rear tailgate. So not only can you open it from the back with the push of a button, you can actually open it just by pressing this button in front too. So also the steering wheel is going to have a couple different functions itself. As you can see here, we got all the controls for the head unit. We have the volume up and down. You can also scroll through all your stations and the sources with all these functions right here. And on the other side, we have our phone options. It's actually got this little voice recognition button where if you press that in and say call so-and-so in your contacts list, if your phone's all paired up, it'll make that call without ever having to touch your phone, and you can speak right through the speakers of the RAV4. So for the rear seats of the RAV4, it's going to be just as comfortable as riding in the front seat, and the reason that is because they recline back. And they also have the center armrest here with the two cup holders in it, and plenty of leg room. This seat's almost as far back as it can go, and I'm between 5'8" and 5'9", and I can fit in back here with no problem. And let me just show you the other way these seats fold down. Just the press of the button over here, the headrest is going to come down. You pull the lever and they're going to come down all the way. I'll show you how much room we got here when both the seats are down. Oops. Now it comes standard with the tonneau cover, but if you need to take that down for a little extra space, all you got to do is pop the sides and it's going to come right out. Now, as I said, I'm between 5'7" and 5'8", and I can practically lay down in this thing and still have a little bit of room. Pretty awesome. So again, Rick, I'm Connor here with Handy Toyota, and I just showed you some of the cool features on our 2015 RAV4 Limited. You can reach me here at 802-528-2252, or just stop in whenever you get the chance. Thanks.